You going? You can hear me, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
you
I'm
good.
saying last episode of like the audio went out early.
Oh
But
shit.
okay, guys, this is episode two. With if you just want to introduce yourself, like your name and age and stuff like that.
What's up, guys? My name's Andres Rodriguez. I'm 29 years old and just a NPC bodybuilder here in Jersey.
That's it. Here in Jersey. That's have you lived in Jersey your whole life?
Yeah, whole life.
Where in Jersey you live in?
Like by Elizabeth.
Okay, a little bit. No, that's
Uh,
so funny. Is that like is that considered? Because it's I don't live in Jersey. I live in PA, but it's so funny because it's like what I consider like North Jersey, and like because I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're like because we go to the gym in like uh Brick, and they're like, oh, that's I figured like that's like Central Jersey. They're like there is no such thing as Central Jersey. It's either North or South. And I'm
I
like, there's
say,
no way that's South Jersey though.
yeah, I always say I'm like north.
North, okay,
Yeah.
because I was like because I thought like I was like because I lived like the part of Jersey I live near is Trenton, and I figured that was like
Okay.
Central Jersey. Like no,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
South
yeah,
Jersey.
makes sense.
But I was like I would assume that that would be Central, but I
Yeah,
know I guess
there's
that's
always
just
that debate of south, central, north.
yeah,
Like it is what it is. I think I'm north.
North Jersey. Okay. But okay, yeah. So you grew up there your whole life. Do you have any brothers and sisters of that? Like, how was like
Yeah, I got two sisters, one brother. They're all
two sisters?
younger.
All young? Are you the oldest?
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
Okay. How young is the youngest compared to you?
The youngest is what, 14.
Oh my God, that much. So 15 years younger than you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like I got one of my sisters, she's just about to go to college. The other one's going into her third year in college, and then the other one's just like sixth grade, seventh grade, whatever that is. So
You guys all went, did you go to college too or no?
yeah, I got my master's degree at FDU,
What does FDU stand for? I never.
Eddie Dickinson's.
Oh, okay. Where's that at?
It's in that can actually be North Jersey. It's by like by Passaic, not Passaic. What's the name of that town? It's just upstate New Jersey.
Okay. Did you, that was that where you went all like you did 4 years there and then you
No,
got
I
a
did
degree?
2 years at a county college,
Okay.
finished that in a year and a half, and then basically got a scholarship to go to FDU. And
Oh.
they offered me like a 5 year program. So they're like, hey, if you come here and you do 2 years, you get your bachelor's, and then one extra year, you get your master's. And I was like, all right, sounds good.
What is your degree in?
Sports administration. So it's
Okay.
basically like business mixed with sports.
Wow.
So I've been working, let's say, so I started my career with like Sky Blue FC, which is now Gotham FC, the women's
Okay.
soccer team. From
What's
there,
happening? Okay.
yeah, went to Red Bulls, the soccer team, and then from there went to the Brooklyn Nets. And from the Brooklyn Nets, now I'm at MetLife Stadium with the two worst teams in the league, the Giants.
Yeah.
But my team is the Eagles, so I don't give a
Okay.
shit.
That big win yesterday. That's crazy in the snow.
Yeah, can't
That's a
wait
good
for
one because that's my whole family's big Eagles fan and stuff like that. I was just on the phone with my boy, and he was like, because I don't know, like in Philly, there's a place called like Xfinity Live, and everyone goes to. And
yeah,
yesterday.
right by the stadium, I think.
Yeah. I used to work down by the stadium. The games would be so crazy down there. People get there like at like 6 o'clock in the morning. It's like, oh my
It's
god, it's
crazy, man.
freezing. Then you think about like because you see the fans, you don't ever think like how cold it is because you're just watching the game. Like okay, yeah, but
Mhm.
then it's like me. Like I went to Walmart yesterday, and it's like it was freezing cold out. The snow was like smacking the
I
face.
didn't know what to
People
do.
were
Like
outside of
even
this.
I work at the stadium, and like sometimes I'll be like, let me go see how the crowd's doing. So I walk around. I'm like, fuck that. I'm going back to my
Yeah.
office.
So you go. I was about to say. So what does your job entail? Like, do you report to the stadium every day, or
So I basically work for like Aramark, which is a third party
okay,
company.
yeah. I know exactly there. Yeah.
But we're in charge of maintenance facilities
Mhm.
and like the cleanliness of the stadium.
Yeah.
But technically, we're there every day.
Mhm.
Today, obviously, the holiday, and we try to like. I'm the AGM, so it's really just the general manager, me, and then we have like three other managers that are under us.
Okay.
That so we basically just make sure the upkeep of the stadium, and we report to the stadium itself.
Okay. So do you work for Airmark? That's the company you work for, or no?
Yeah,
Okay, that's a huge. I used to deliver like their Airmark building in Center City in Philadelphia. It's like
that's where
the
the
oldest building. What's that?
headquarters the headquarters is in Philly.
Yeah. I used to deliver the building. I remember it being insane, and because they do like it's crazy to think. It's so funny because like people like they don't know like it's like Airmark. They're like because it's like they literally are like in prisons,
Everything.
hospitals, nursing homes,
Yeah,
stadiums. It's so
because
crazy.
they do uniforms, they do
Yeah,
they cook, they have like the
it's crazy.
custodians, they do everything. So I like the sports and entertainment side of it because that's what I
Yeah,
basically work for
yeah,
and I studied for. But I tried like before finishing my master's, I was like, let me try like the food aspect. And I'm like, I can't do this.
yeah.
It's too much.
That's something like because that's a good. I mean, obviously a great company because it's so big. Do you have like aspirations to move up like the corporate ladder in there, or you're kind of
Yeah,
just going with the
like
support side?
I have my own goals. Like I want to stay for the World Cup. The World
Yeah.
Cup is in 2 years.
Okay.
So obviously add that to the resume. Like, hey, you're able to manage like your
Yeah.
staff through one of the craziest
Where is the
sports.
World Cup going to be at? Like, what does that entail? Like, where is that at? Is that in?
It's gonna be based on U.S., Canada, and Mexico, but it's like
Okay.
the biggest soccer tournament in the world. It happens every 4 years,
Mhm.
and we have the I think we have the final.
Okay.
So
Is it like? Is it like? Is it a set stadium or is it like?
nah, they're gonna be playing all over the U.S. So they'll be in California, Texas. I don't know if Philly has a game,
Okay.
and MetLife. Obviously, we got a couple. I think we have 8 games plus the final, something like
Okay.
that.
Well, that's pretty
So,
crazy. Do you like soccer? Is that what you're? Are you like? Are you a big like outside of like your work? What sports do you like?
basketball is my main sport. I
Basketball.
think I'll probably go like basketball, soccer, football.
Okay. Who's
Um,
your favorite basketball team then?
like my favorite team was always the Nets, even though we
Yeah.
suck. Like my tradition goes all the way back to like when we have Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, Richard Jefferson, like that big three.
Yeah.
And after that, it's like been downhill.
Did
Catch a
you
break.
grow up playing? Did you grow up playing sports at all, or not really?
Yeah, I played basketball growing up.
Okay.
That's really about it. I played football for fun, but
Yeah.
nothing serious.
Okay. So you want to stay for the World Cup, and then what is your goal? Like you want to from
Uh,
after that?
like either see if depending how money is, obviously you get a raise. If
Mhm.
not, like try to transition to something more of a general manager role somewhere else. I know there's like some new stadiums opening up, some new uh, things in New York, different areas of the country as well. So
I would say, are you willing to commute? Like if they're like, yo, we not commute, relocate. If they're like, yo, we can give you a
yeah,
position, but it's going to be in
it just
Sacramento. You'd be
depends.
like,
Like I've been talking to my girl. I want to move to Texas so bad.
oh yeah,
I even
it's like
hit my boss. I'm like,
paradise.
do we have any good sports accounts in Texas? They're like, I think we have the San Antonio Spurs and we have one other team out there.
Mhm.
So I'm like, that'd be pretty cool to just
Yeah,
transfer.
literally. That'd
So
be that'd be great. What does your girl do for a living? Like, would she be able to relocate, or it's not something that she could just find another job when she moves there?
she can find another job, but it's more like family. Like
Okay, yeah, that's a big one. Yeah,
she has a big family, like at least 20 plus. Like me, I have like it's just like very close.
yeah,
I'm like I don't mind moving out.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. You can come back for holidays.
Yeah, to me, it's like okay, I got bodybuilding out there and I got
Yeah,
sports, and I'm like I'm good.
exactly. How long have you and your girlfriend been together for?
Like 6 years.
6 years. Okay,
So
that's and is she from that area? Like her whole family's based off where like you guys all live in the same area.
yeah.
Okay, so when you guys like for a holiday and stuff like that, it's like big get-togethers. Like they have big traditions for her family.
Oh man, holidays is sometimes complicated because like my parents are divorced,
Okay.
so it's like I would have to go to like let's say Christmas is
Yeah.
like go to her parents, then go to my dad, and then Christmas Day come back here to my mom's house.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's like a lot of moving around, a lot
Yeah.
of food, but a
Yeah.
lot
A
of
lot of
moving.
food. Yeah. Exactly. So, what are like? Is that like a big like? What are some traditions like you guys do as a family? Like, or like for her, like, because if you guys are big in her family, like, what are some traditions that you love that like being part of like her big family and stuff like that? Like, what are some stuff that you like for your like when you decide to like have your own kids or whatever if you want or like
Yeah, I just like the size of our family. I don't. I'm not close with. I am close with my cousins and stuff, but
yeah
not like we hang out or
yeah
anything like
exactly yeah
all her cousins and all the kids are very close. They all have play dates and shit like that. So that's a plus. Like if we were to have a kid, is
yeah
like having that size of a family to depend on.
yeah
No matter what, it's a bonus for me.
yeah exactly. That's a big. So is that so? You would say like having a close family that's important to you? Like that's something that you hold
Yeah.
value to? Like okay, so it's not something that you'd like take for granted. Like you actually like
No,
actively.
yeah, like I love my family. I just don't mind moving out the state.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah. I was just, yeah,
And I also understand like where she's coming from. So it's like, and I have family in Texas, so
okay,
that's the thing.
yeah,
So even family have told me out there like, hey, don't take for granted having like 90% of your family out there because it's like God forbid, like you're working or something's going on. Hey, can you pick up the kids? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, we got people that we can reach out to.
yeah. And it's crazy. That is something to think about because I was years ago I wanted to move to Texas too, and it was just me and my girlfriend and stuff like that, and it was just like, well, damn, like if someone's car breaks down, like up here, it's like I can just call my dad, like, Dad, can I borrow your car for work tomorrow? Yeah, no problem. And then, but it's like, they're by yourself. It's like, oh man, what do I got to do now? It's like, gotta
Mhm.
rent a car for the day. It's like that's crazy.
Yeah,
Stuff like that you don't even take consideration. But
like me, I was just more excited for like the bodybuilding aspect, but
oh
then
yeah,
when I sit down and think about like the actual stuff, I'm
yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah.
makes sense.
Like the logistics is like, I just want to train.
To me, it's training and the house that I can get. Like
Yeah.
the value
Oh
for a
yeah.
house,
Oh,
is like shit. I can get a mansion for 400K, and
literally, it's crazy.
here's like 800 to 1.1 or some shit like that.
That's funny. Literally, it's funny because like, where I live, it's like it's the housing market is literally went insane because it's like like my house that I live in with my dad. It was like I think whatever it was, he bought it like the '80s for like $90,000. Now there's a house on my street that just got listed for 425,000,
Oh,
and then
shit.
they already put it back up to 450 because like it was like two. I'm like 450,000. Like who lives on my street? Like a doctor? It's like it's crazy. And like some
Mhm.
dude I know, like his friend was in like the local newspaper because his house was like the most expensive house like sold in this area, like whatever, like this style house. It was like $700,000. It's like that's insanity. It's like where do these people work?
I don't get it, man. Like even up here, the houses are at least 600 plus.
Yeah, it's like
I
geez.
think we tested the market for our house right now, and it's at like 750. And I'm like, bro, like I would have to probably go south or west.
I would say like if you did stay in Jersey, if that is your plan, like do you have like a
Oh,
goal like
yeah,
when you want
we
to
would
move or
definitely get a house next year.
next year?
So I don't mind driving 45 minutes to 50 minutes to work
Yeah.
because like from work, my gym is like 10 minutes away, so I can get out of work,
Okay.
train,
Yeah.
avoid the traffic, and then head home.
Yeah.
Right.
Once the traffic dies down, yeah.
So I wouldn't mind going south or west.
Okay, so you don't. There's not like a dead set. You don't like set on living in a certain town or anything like that. It's just
Nah,
like
nah. I'm
whatever
not
works.
like like I don't. I know our family's like here in this area,
Yeah,
but as long as I can get to them within
yeah,
30 minutes, I'm like I don't care. It's better
yeah.
than an 8 hour drive or something like that.
Exactly. But you said you and your girl been together for 6 years. How did you guys meet?
Instagram.
Oh, Instagram. That's a
Yeah.
good one. It's like modern day.
It's funny. She lives 4 minutes away from here, from my house.
No way, really.
Together now, but basically like when I reached out to her, we are like, hey, let's go out, let's do whatever. We
Yeah,
went out to eat, and I'm like, yo, your house is like 4 minutes away. I could literally. There's been times where like I had to do cardio,
yeah,
and I'm, you know what? I want to do it differently, so I would walk 40 minutes to her house,
yeah,
and that'll be my cardio.
yeah. Exactly. That is hilarious. That's so funny. To think like, where do you live? Oh, I'll pick you up. It's like I live 2 streets behind you. It's like what?
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Mhm.
That's pretty wild. What does she do for a living?
She just got her degree in accounting.
Okay,
But before that, she was working like as in like medical field stuff.
okay.
So
Did she go to college around? Like she like did like college around where she lives right now?
yeah.
That's pretty cool. When you
So
were in high school, like you knew you wanted to go to college, like that was like a passion of yours, like you wanted an
yeah, I love
education.
school. Like if my job were like to be like, hey, go back to we need you to go back to school
No
so you
way.
can do this. I'll be like, fuck it, you're paying. I'll go back. I don't care.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a big like nerdy guy. Like I
Okay.
love.
So you're good at school, like you would consider. So it's not like it's not okay. What was like your favorite like subjects like growing up? Like what was some stuff that you really like really excelled in?
Math was one of them. Um, I like history stuff,
Okay.
like going back into the time and
Yeah.
learning about the past. But for me, college is like a professor told me was majority of the stuff that you learn in college isn't going to transition into your work shit.
Yeah.
So like, but it's the work that you do to try to investigate, organize yourself,
Yeah.
and be proactive with that. Those are the traits that you're going to carry into work.
Oh, no
So
idea.
basically, I just know I just like school.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing with college too, like that's a huge one because it's like I was literally just talking to somebody the other day. It's like about like time management. It's like so many people like they have a 1 hour like they work for that day, like 8 hours, and then
Yeah,
like oh the day's done. I have no other time. It's like it's only 8 hours. Like you can get so much more accomplished. It's like you only sleep in eight, you work
yeah,
eight, you got 8 hours left. It's like, but they feel like the day's gone. I feel like college is definitely like a good thing for like definitely younger people to learn like good
yeah.
time management and like how to actually use your time productively. Like, hey, you got
Yeah.
this 3-hour block. You have to study, go to class, cook, and do this in them 3 hours. So it's like
Yeah,
make it happen.
it was during my probably when I was getting my bachelor's, I started bodybuilding, and it's like I'm key on like organization. Like I have a
Yeah.
Google Calendar, I have time slaps for everything,
Oh, I love
notes
it.
and all that shit. And basically, I'll be like, okay, I got class here. I can do fasted cardio here. I can do trade in between here, study here, and make it work. And then
Mhm.
the day, like to me, there's no excuse if you want to achieve something.
Yeah.
It's like it's just how bad you want it. At the end of the day.
It is funny, like how some people are wired so differently because, like, do you like not that I would say like you don't stress out per se, but like if you don't have your set schedule, like is it like feel so weird? Because I know people like have no
Oh,
schedule at all, and
that's
I'm
something I have to work. I have to work on that because like I have my day set right now. Like I have podcast 12 to 1 right now,
yeah,
and I have that set. And I'm like, okay. Before that, I was trying to like set up this hard drive that I have, and it wasn't going according to plan.
Mhm.
So like it took up more time than I had to.
Yeah.
I kind of started stressing out. But I'm like, you know what? Leave that be. Start working on other things I have to get done, and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Because that's something that I do have is like if it gets out of my schedule, I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
I got to be able to like take the punches and go with it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
But
That is big. So, but that's crazy how some people are hardwired because, like you, like, but I'm sure you accomplish so much because you are so structured and
yeah,
you like. I know some people that they're the opposite, like with us, because I'm the same way. Like I like before I go to bed, like I can't sleep because I'm already planning the next day. It's like okay,
Mhm.
wake up at 10. I
Yeah.
mean, I have to do cardio, cook, eat this meal this time. I have to be at the gym by 5:30, so that you got to like reverse engineer the meals. It's like, okay, 2 hours, two
Like
hours, 2 hours. Got to be
I'm
up.
a visual person, so me seeing my schedule, I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
fast cardio here, this, oh, I got time here, and just plan it out that way.
it's
Like,
so funny to think.
like, do you, when you go train, right? Do you know what you're gonna do, or you just
Oh,
wing?
Oh no, I have I my workouts are the like say if I'm doing chest, it's the exact same workout, the exact same reps, the
Yeah.
same weight. It's like okay, maybe just get one extra rep on this exercise. And for me, I love that. And it's like, but I guess some people that's so weird. It's like you're doing the exact same workout with the same weights, with the same amount of reps as you did last week. It's like,
Hmm.
how's that fun? It's like for me, it's just like I love
Yeah.
structure and I love organization like that. But it's funny that people are hardwired like we love that, but then there's other people that stresses them out. Being for us, like being off schedule stresses us out. It's so funny how
And
people.
to me, that stresses me out when people go to a gym and they're like, oh, I don't know
Yeah,
what I'm gonna do today. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like,
it's
yeah, I'm
crazy.
gonna do some legs and I'll do some chest. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Literally, me and my
Like,
training partner crack up because like we'll be in the locker room and like you'll hear like younger guys like, "What do you want to hit today?" It's like, "You want to do arms?" It's like, "You guys don't know what you're training yet." It's like, "You already know." Like I already do. Like last week, it's like what
yeah,
weight, what exercises, what reps. It's so funny thing. Like it's well, I'm not saying they're successful in that doing it that way, but I'm saying like just in life that some people like you could just wing
yeah.
it and like that's what they like feel confident in, and then some people like us like we need like the structure. And what do you think that's from? Like for you, like do you have any like I know where I get it from. Like where do you have any like ideology or like why you tend to like
I
like
always
that?
link it back to like my mom because like growing up, my mom was always like, organization is the key to success. You got to be organized. You got to be structured. So her saying that to me like almost every day
Mhm.
basically made me be like, okay, I need to be organized, and if I'm organized, I'll be successful.
Got
And
it.
that's how I've carried that throughout my whole life, and so far it's worked out. Like they call me Mr. Excel because I have an Excel for everything. So like I have an Excel for my training programs. Like I used to write it in the book.
Yeah,
I just pull up my phone, go
I
to the
love
document.
it.
I'm like, okay, I have this, and I can see like last week I did that.
I
All
love
right,
it. That's why. Yeah,
we hit it. We did the same weight, but we actually improved by 1 rep, so that's fine.
literally.
Or like
Exactly.
the tempo was better than last time. Or okay, and we make notes, and I'll
Yeah.
probably put like a note like, oh, my shoulder was feeling off today. That's why the numbers are a little bit down.
Mhm.
We'll repeat it and keep it going that way.
I
So
have the exact same things. I had like mine on Google Sheets, but then it's like you can go back 25 weeks, but then it's like it
mhm,
has like little things where you can leave comments, and it's like I'm like, because I know for me personally, like for just something about Friday nights, like I always post on my stories, like Friday Night Lights, just something about it, like the energy. Like I know the week's over, the work week's over, I get to sleep in. I'm just in such a good mood that like whatever workout falls on Fridays, the numbers are always way better than last week.
yeah,
And then I had to write like, yo, it was Friday, because then I'll go next week. I'm like, how did I not get any numbers? Like, how did I just match
mhm,
everything? No PRs. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that was why it was Friday night last time. That's why my numbers were crazy. Now it's
Like
not.
I even put like the time that I work out because
Yeah.
I know that if I work out at 4:30, I've had 4 meals in. And now if I have to train for some reason at 10 o'clock in the morning and
Oh
I
yeah,
have
brutal.
1 or 2 meals, I'm like, it might be better, it might not, but I've only had two
Yeah.
meals in me, so
I'm like that's the same thing. Like talk about like structure and having being like so organized. Like not the same way. Like I cannot go to the gym because I mean my life like I don't have that much
yeah,
going on, so I don't ever need to really train early. So like I cannot go. Like it's just in my head. Like I cannot go to the gym without 3 meals and a gallon of water. It's like if I do that, I'm like I'm sure it would be probably just as good, but it's just like a mental block in my head where I'm like that's just
like
I'm
for
so
me,
structured. I'm so
it just
weird about.
depends on the body part, right? So like, if it's legs, I need to have my 4 meals in.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I gotta fucking have it.
Yeah.
If it's like a shoulder, maybe an arm day, I'm like, okay, I can get away with two
Yeah.
meals. But like the big ones, I'm like, I gotta have a couple more meals.
Oh
In
my
me.
god. Yeah. Because then it's like then you beat yourself up because if you go under that, it's like if you go
Yeah,
with 2 meals, you're like, oh my god, I'm not at my numbers because I'm did he.
yeah.
So when you said like your mom was that big impact, were you when your parents separated? What age were you when they separated?
That's the thing. I was so young, I don't even remember.
Okay, so like you were so were you raised?
Four, maybe
Okay,
six.
so it was young, yeah.
Yeah,
Were you did you live with your mom for when you were
yeah.
raised? Okay, would you say like she was like a? Do you think like your mom had like a huge impact on like your upbringing, or do you think maybe even if you didn't live with your dad, like
Well, like I saw my dad every
every
weekend,
other weekend? Oh, okay,
and he was a big part of my life as well. But I think it was both seeing how much they worked to give their kids a better life
yeah,
made me see like I want to be able to do that for my kids, but without the struggle. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because I know like my mom worked her ass off, my dad still works his ass off,
yeah,
so it's like I want to be successful, so like my kid can be like, "Hey, dad, I want that." I'll be like, "All right, get it. Just
yeah.
it is what it is."
Exactly. Such a beautiful feeling. What did you have? Is that like, because I had the same thing, like my parents too, like, 'cause my mom didn't work, my dad did. Mom was staying with my mom. And like my dad, like, I didn't like, he was never home. He worked like 12
Yeah,
hours a day, 7 days a week. And like, you just thought that's just normal. But then like, now thinking back as an adult, I'm like, wow, like that is so, because I didn't know as a kid. I was like, oh, your dad's at work. But now thinking back, it's like, oh my God, because obviously nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to
yeah,
work 12 hours a day at a job they don't like. But he did that because he wanted support for his family. So thinking back, it's like, yeah, like my dad was really like put his own life and his own priorities on the back burner for us because like I was
yeah.
like he'd rather work 8 hours and chill at home and watch football
Yeah.
and do shit like that. But it's like he made them sacrifices for his kid, and it's like when you're a kid, you don't really see that. So
Yeah.
is that something, like you learned a little bit as you got older, more mature? Like you look back on your parents and like have a lot more like respect and value for that kind of stuff they did for you.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Okay, that's what. Did you was it something you realized when you were younger too? Like, did you kind of
Oh yeah,
like?
because I kind of felt it like I would be at basketball games by myself.
Yeah, okay,
Like my parents sometimes, my dad would try to make the game. Sometimes my mom would too. They'll probably be like, "Hey, stay after school. We'll be in the after school program."
hmm,
And then after school game will start. So okay, basketball, and then hey, mom's here to pick you up. I'm like, all
got
right,
it.
time to go.
Since you were the oldest, did you have to like? Were you allowed to like staying with your younger brother, your younger siblings, stuff like that too? If your parents were working, or they
Not
were
really, because like
they're a lot younger.
my my dad and his wife had two kids, and then my
Okay,
mom had one kid, like my sister here. So
okay,
I'm close with this sister. I'm close with all of them. But obviously, like when she was a baby,
yeah,
uh, she's little. She's like about to go to college right now.
okay, yeah. So she's a lot younger.
It's like I didn't really hang out with them, but now like as I got into college and I had like my ability to drive around and stuff like
Yeah,
that, I'll try to get them all three together and do activities. Hey, let's go to the
yeah,
movies. Let's do this, and try to spend time with them as
yeah.
well.
So it was pretty much just you then as a child, like because
Yeah,
your dad
basically.
had his own kids and lived with him. Then it was just
Yeah.
you, and then now your younger sister's 15 years younger than you. So you
Mhm.
were 15 by your. So pretty much till you were 15, you were your only child at
Yeah,
your house.
basically.
Okay. Was your mom always single? Like stayed just single? Was just you and your mom your whole? Or she
No,
had
she's
a?
had like she's been remarried and
Okay.
stuff like that, but that's her thing.
Okay. Who do you think like who so like who was like a big role model for you like as you're growing up? Like who was something that you think back like played like a huge role in like shaping you as a life? Like even though it doesn't have to be like a family member, it could just be like family friend or someone like you went to school with. Like who was something like you have any role models or anything like that, or anyone that you really looked up to?
Besides my parents,
Yeah.
like So I don't know, man, because like for high school, like I went away. I went to DR, spent
What,
4 years
oh, you
out
went
there.
to, what is it? Dominican
Dominican
Republic?
Republic.
Okay. For your
So
whole high school, the whole 4 years?
yeah, man.
Who'd you live with out there?
My grandmother.
Oh my God. What was, how did that come up to be a thing? Like your mom, like, was like,
No, it was just they're very long and like real personal. I don't know if I
oh,
want to say that out there, but like basically like some shit happened.
yeah,
Um, I thought like when you're a kid from a divorce
yeah, yeah,
home, you probably think you're the problem.
yeah,
So I'm like, you
uh-huh,
know what? I might be the cause of all this shit. Let me get the fuck
yeah,
out. So I left for DR, did my 4 years, but I come back for like the summer,
yeah.
winter, and
It's a
then,
big choice on yourself, though. Like that was a big, like if you made the choice, that was a big personal choice on yourself to remove
and
yourself
then
from the
like
situation.
first year was very hard because like I knew Spanish,
Yeah.
but I didn't know how to write in Spanish. I didn't
Oh,
know
God.
the lingo out
And
there.
you were
So
in high school, right? Like you went to
right
ninth
now
grade, right?
everything fucking like math was the only class I understood because it's fucking numbers. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
But I did really good out there anyway. But that like, do I regret it? Absolutely not, because it
yeah,
did toughen me up. It opened up a lot of eyes into a different culture as well.
yeah. I was going to say
And then
that's a
when I
huge
came
experience.
back, it was I basically sat my parents down. I'm like, yo, this fighting shit needs to stop.
Yeah,
And I told them like my story,
yeah,
what that caused me, and how I didn't want to
yeah,
be out there. And they're like, holy shit, we almost fucked this kid up.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So
That's what I
then,
mean. That takes a lot as like a because I think back when I was like 17, 18, or I was not mature enough to ever want to like have a conversation like that. I would have been just like push it down. So that's so much like shows a lot about like how mature you were like as a younger guy, like that you could do that because that's obviously like you said,
yeah,
it's a very
because like
personal.
it's like for me, it's like I left because the fighting and all the stuff was to an extreme,
Yeah,
and it made me feel away. So I left, and then when I come back, it continues, and I'm starting college, and I'm like,
yeah,
look, starting college, it's either like this shit needs to stop. It's been fucking 18 years of this shit.
yeah,
And then when I told my story, then they were like, they opened up their eyes and they were
yeah.
like,
Like it actually was weighing a lot on you.
yeah,
So when you lived in the DR, was it you and your grandmom or
yeah, my grandmother and her husband. So he's like
okay?
my grandfather. Yeah,
Was that is that your mom's parents or your dad's parents? Your
my
mom's parents.
dad's Colombian.
Okay. So what was the experience like that? Like how did that like when you were living there? Like what was like that's a whole new world, right? Like
No,
Jersey to DR.
everything's fucking different, man. Like I was in school would end at 12 or 1 o'clock.
Noon.
So like I would literally wake up for a basketball league at 5 o'clock, play for 2 hours,
Oh my
get to school. I would ride my little motorcycle to school,
God.
be there from like 8 o'clock to like 12, be done, then that's it. My first year was more like I would take classes afterwards to like learn to write and do all my classes,
Yeah.
and then after that, I just got the hang of it.
Well, that is pretty. Do you still have any friends or anyone like that you still communicate with from there, or not
Probably,
really?
probably like two,
So
two
okay.
guys.
Yeah, have
Yeah.
you? Oh, so that's. Do you ever go back like often a lot or no?
No,
No, you no really.
no.
So it wasn't like a place like you fell in love where you're like I need to go back or be like I want to live here. Nothing crazy like that.
I think after I left, um, my boy went asked me to go with him for vacation with his family.
Mhm.
I went once, and that was it.
Really?
And my mom, like, I might be going back for a wedding, but like, my mom was asking me, like, "Hey, you want to go to DR?" I'm like, "Hell no!" And she's like, "Why?" I'm like, "I didn't want to be there in the first place, and
Yeah.
I was stuck there for 4 years."
True. That was. I guess it wasn't like the best experience, best time of
Like
your life
it
in that
was,
stage.
and now, like I said, like, is it nice? The town's nice. All this shit's really good, but like, I just don't like it. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to be there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like even people now, like the culture. Like, I have nothing against Dominicans. I'm Dominican,
Yeah.
but like the people I was around with, like, I had somebody hit me up the other day. They're like, "Yo, Dre, what's up? It's been so long." I'm like, "Yeah, I haven't been to DR." They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, can you do me a favor?" I'm like, "What?" They're like, "Can I have like $2,000?" And I'm like,
Oh.
What you mean US dollars?"
Yeah.
They're like, "Yeah, money is easy over there." I'm like, "I got bills to pay."
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I'm like, "Nah," and I just blocked the person. I'm like,
It's like, out the blue to be asking money for like that. It's like you deserve to get blocked on something like that. It's like, come on, brother. It's like,
so.
I don't know what type
Because
of
I think they got the idea like it's easy to get
yeah,
money
so
here, and obviously like $1 over there would be like some like 60.
yeah.
So, but I'm like, yo, you're asking for two thousand
Well,
dollars.
since you're asking for $2,000, you're asking for like 12 grand. It's
And if
like
you tell me like, hey, maybe 2,000 Dominican dollars,
yeah,
I'm like, okay, maybe that's like
$100,
what, 20
maybe.
bucks, 30 bucks. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
man, but yeah, I haven't been back. I've been everywhere else. I've been to Europe. I've been to Colombia. Love Colombia.
Really? I would say what so like that was a great question. I love that question. So like in your head, like what was like your favorite vacation you've ever been on, dude? Not even doesn't even have to be your favorite place, but just all in all experience. And what was it you think one of your favorite ones? So I've never traveled, so it's someone I love to ask people like
Oh,
where have they been they love.
uh, Colombia was by far one of the best ones. It was one that me and my girl just went by ourselves. So we
That's
went to three different cities in Colombia. We stayed out there for like 2 weeks. And let me like they sell our special stuff in the
yeah.
pharmacy. Like, I tested it out. I'm like, hey, you have this? And they're like, yeah, which one you want?
Like, no
Pfizer.
problem.
I'm like, are you serious? They're like, yeah, we just sell it. I'm like, okay,
So
cool.
crazy.
But like the food is good, the people are nice, the culture is really good. So I really did like Colombia a lot. There was a part that I didn't like, and it was because it was all like seafood,
Oh
and I'm not a
really?
big seafood guy. So
Yeah. They
um,
eat that's just like part of their cuisine. They eat a lot of seafood in
yeah,
Colombia.
so we went to like the to like an island,
Hmm.
and like over there it was more on the seafood side.
Okay.
It was a different part of Colombia, so I was like, it was nice. It was all beaches and stuff, but I was like, okay, where's like the rice, the chicken, the
Yeah,
beef,
you're right here.
eggs? They're like, yeah, we're more on the fish side. I'm like,
Like
okay,
what's it, like a pescatalian or something like that? Pescatalian diet.
that, but not the greatest. And then just everything just tasted fresh. Everywhere I've been, food tastes way better than
That's
here.
crazy. What
Like
do you
I,
think had the best? Which place do you think had the best cuisine? You think anyone that would like the best was most memorable?
mm,
Or was there even like a restaurant that stuck out? Like, do you remember like I was at in this place at this, and we went to this restaurant. And it was just like amazing.
uh,
Nothing crazy, just cuisine in general.
maybe Europe, pasta
The
was
pasta.
good.
Oh, what is that in Italy?
Yeah,
And
but
yeah, that's when my brother went there for his honeymoon. He said like it was just so different. It would say he was like sending me FaceTime to like so FaceTime at like 2 o'clock in the morning in Italy. And it's just like no one's working. It's like a Tuesday at like 2 in the morning. They're all like out front, relaxing, riding their bikes. Like it's like 2 in the morning. I'm like,
yeah,
what in the world? It's just so crazy, a different way of life.
it's great. We even went to McDonald's out there, and we're like, let's try this out, and it just
Yeah,
tasted way like less greasier, more
yeah.
fresh. I feel like they just cut the cow in the back, made the beef. That's about it.
That's so it's so crazy how different. It's funny too, like how different like life is because like in America, like it's everyone wants to be successful, everyone wants this that, and it's so funny to think like in other countries it's not like that because we see the world as like your little bubble, like that's what you think the world is. Then when you like travel, like you've been all them places, I'm sure you've experienced that it's just so drastically different in other places. Like my brother
Oh,
was like, we were in Italy and he's like, no one even cared like about working, like no one even said like what their job
I
title
feel
was, like
like
no one cared.
yeah, what it was. It was I was listening to a podcast and it was like I think Martin Fitzgerald was
Yeah,
the one that was on it. And he was like, here in the U.S., what is it? We work to live,
yeah,
but over there they live. No, we live to work basically,
yeah,
and
literally,
over there they put life before work. Like they enjoy themselves more.
yeah.
So I'm
It's like
like,
there's just crazy, like I don't know. It's not a story. It's like what they call like them Japanese proverbs, and it's like a story about like it was like so mind bending for me because obviously like, I want to be successful, like you said, like
yeah,
you want to be able to give your kids what you want, and you want to be successful, and everyone wants that. But it's so crazy to think that it's like, why is that even what I want? Because it's like, am I? Because that makes you think it's like, am I just like society tells you you want a big house, or you want a big house? Because there's a story, and it's like a guy like he was in Mexico and he was like some like big banker from New York went to Mexico and was on the beach and he was talking to a guy who was like a fisherman. He's like, hey, like you like the guy came in over his boat. He's like, oh, you caught some good fish today. He's like, well, why don't you like start selling them fish at the market and then that way you can get enough money to buy another boat. Then two of you guys can do fishing. And then he's like, then once you get enough, you can buy a whole fleet and then you can get like a manufacturing. And then he's like, then he's like, then you can retire and sell the company. And he's like, but what would be the goal? He said, well, then when you retire, you can live on the beach and relax and spend time with your family. He's like, but that's already what I do now. I
yeah,
already just go out, get a couple fish that pays the bills, and then I spend the rest of the time with my family. Why would I do all that other stuff just to have the same end goal? It's just you want to spend time with family is your goal. Like you want to be around people you love. And it's like that's
yeah.
pretty crazy to think about. Like the whole rat race is like get more and more and more and more and more. And it's like if the goal of if your life what makes you happy is just being around friends and family and like
Mhm.
I guess that's really like the big picture. Then it's like I
Yeah.
mean, there's no one because most people, no one really like it's no one openly admits like I'm a materialistic person. Most people are like like I like nice things sometimes, but like most people aren't like, I need materialistic stuff. Like no one's like, I have to have the best. Most people are like, I can get by with whatever. But it
Mm.
is so funny that we all chase that level of success.
And I think like social media plays a big role in
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Like people want to show off what they got and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't know. Me and my girl, we both agree on that. Like we want to be there more for our kids. Like
Yeah,
participate more, be more for the. Like if they have games, I want to be there at all the games. I
yeah,
don't want to be the type to be like, well, I got like 3 meetings today, so I can't really help you out.
exactly.
I'm like, I want to be there.
Yeah, because that's what your kids appreciate. Your kids would appreciate you being there more than them having a bigger house. Because they
Yeah.
don't know what a big house does mean. Like that doesn't mean anything to them. They'd rather have you. And it's funny that like we get sucked into that. Like it is funny. I don't know. I don't know if that's like just. I mean, being aware of that because like our upbringing and stuff like that in our childhoods, that like maybe something that we're a little bit different. That's how you kind of, or if everyone just looks at it like that way, like they'd rather have the personal time than the success. Not that you can't have both, obviously, but I'm just saying like if there was a trade off, me personally, I'd rather spend time with my family and friends and stuff like that than have something.
Okay, I agree. Like right now, like we're both pretty young, right?
Yeah.
So I want to bust my ass now, make a name for myself,
Yeah,
get the money now, get to like a point in my career where like when I do have my kid, I'm able to like take it easy at work and be more relaxed.
exactly.
Um, but I think it just comes down to like being the type of person you are. Either you're humble or you're just a money hungry person.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
So do you have like a goal of your like for like when you want to have kids? Like I want to have kids by 35, or is there anything like that, or not really?
I know for guys it's very different. Like we can have
Yeah.
kids, like whenever.
Yeah.
I know my girl's like in the between next 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
So I know I want a girl, so
Yeah,
in the next two
I think
years.
that'd be fun too. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, I never want a girl." It's like I would love a
I
girl. I
feel like
it's so
all
cool.
bodybuilders have girls.
Yeah, it might be a bodybuilding thing. Because I was like, I would love to have a daughter. It's like I feel like it'd be such a cool process.
Yeah.
Obviously, a son too, but it's like when you were coming up, like, did you always want to? Because when I was young, like I wanted to have kids when I was like 18. Like I was like,
Oh
I
yeah.
was a family young because I was like, I didn't want to be like 40 and then
Yeah.
have a kid that I'm like 7 years old. Because you see these older guys and like, it's like this dude's like 70. His daughter's like 10 years old. It's like that's like you can't even walk around. It's like there's like, but nowadays, I mean, people are in good shape. Like I don't think I'll be like crippled at 60. Like I'm
No,
I'll
yeah.
probably be able to, like run marathons when I'm 70 because like you take care of yourself. But
No, I didn't really think about kids that young. It was more like once I hit like 25, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I want a girl. Like
yeah,
daddy's little princess type shit.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Spoil. How many kids do you want? You want to have a big family? It's not really like it's just. It's
I
like,
don't want that many kids. I want like one or two max.
wanted to.
I told my girl wants a lot. I told her like, look, if you want 4, I'll give you 2 kids and give me 2 dogs. I'll be fine.
That's so. It's so funny to think like nowadays it's so different because I'm like you said like her family. She's like my dad is from like a family of 7. I know some people like back in like always you hear somebody like that generation like oh I had
I don't
tons
get
of kids.
I don't know how like one lady like had like, oh, my grandma had like 10 of us, and I'm like, how?
Literally. And then the grandma didn't work. It's like only the dad worked and they had 10 kids, a house and 2 cars. It's like that's what's crazy. Like even my dad, like my parents and my mom didn't work and my dad worked and we had 4 kids and like they had a house and a car. I mean, obviously we didn't have a lot of money growing up, like we were like spoiled, but it was like we still ate and like, they got by, but it's like that was only a one person's job. It's like I have a way better job than my dad did when he was raising 4 kids. And it's like or like my dad, like his dad, he had 7 kids, and then only his dad worked. And it was like, and they had a house and a car. Like they were poor, but still, it's like 7 kids, a house and a car. You would have to be balling rich to have that now. To even and you would still be poor.
Think about it, groceries is expensive as shit. I can only imagine everything else that comes with the kid itself. Like my girl even now says like the amount that it goes to just me is like feeding the whole family. I'm like, yeah.
Literally, it's funny because like my sister and her boyfriend just got on diets and stuff like that, and they're like, "Oh, I spent $180 at Walmart." And I started cracking up. I was like, "Bro, it's like $360 for me a week." And I'm like, I always tell myself, "It's like, oh, this was an expensive week because I had to buy plates and laundry soap." And then it's like I go next week and it's like, then it's instead of laundry soap and plates, it's cat litter and whatever, and it's always like $400. It's like, oh my god!
That's why like I kind of like prep because it's like okay, once you get to prep, yeah, going down, my grocery bill starts going down.
Yeah. And it's crazy because like you look at stuff and it's like I have bone broth. I put like my bone broth everywhere some of my meals, and it's like I was at Walmart yesterday. It's like $6. It's like, oh my god, I go through 4 jars of that a week. That's $24 just on bone broth. That's just for like taste. It's like That's just like to help me out. It's like that's no money. It's like, or you look at like condiments like mustard. It's like I used to use like a bottle of that little mustard that's diet stuff. It's like God, it's
Like you
expensive.
think about it, like the sweet poppy sauces, they're like 20,
Yeah.
30,
Oh my God, they're brutal.
and they go quick.
Yeah, literally.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit, they're worth it.
Yeah, that's what's always. Yeah, I'm like, I'll just eat plain. I like a little dry. Just add some water.
I'm like, fuck it.
It's
Like
crazy. It's
right
like,
now, like I found like there's a guy up here called Fuel Chef Frank,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he does all my protein for a pretty good price, and I'm like, now I can get that covered and don't have to
Oh
worry
yeah,
about it.
that's
And
such a hassle too. Because that's like cooking that shit is so annoying. My God.
every week.
Like, you know, because that's what's funny. Because I was at BJ's the other day, and I went in. And I asked, like, they had like the steaks out, and they look like trash. And I asked the guy, I said, like, yo, do you have any other ones? He's like, there's someone out on the shelf. I'm like, bro, I'm paying whatever it is, like $10 a pound for this stuff. I don't want like fat. Half the stuff's fat. It's like this
Yeah,
color brown. It's like I'm paying for it. I want the good stuff. He's like, oh, I don't know. People usually just don't ask. I'm like, okay, well, people might be okay with buying crap. I'm not.
yeah. You're paying good money for it, so you might as well get what you want.
Exactly. It's like, but what was another one of the questions? I had a couple questions for you. Oh, I have a good one too, which I love this one. It's pretty funny. It's like, what was like your first kiss? Like when you like think back, like it's such a funny story because it's always you never know those stories. It's like, what
Mine
was
was,
your first?
I
What?
think mine was like, fuck, let me see, like grade school.
That's
Like
hilarious,
back,
right?
it's like, oh, like meet me by the stairs and shit, and we met by the stairs, and I thought I knew what I was doing, and he's like, he gave a peck and just
Yeah,
ran. He's like, oh, I left.
that's
And
so
that was
funny,
it.
isn't it?
And
Always
I
so
was
funny
like,
to think back, like when you were young, how different you looked on life and stuff like that.
hey, when I look at when I was young, I was like, holy shit. I try to compare it to like nowadays. I'm like, I was actually like we were kids back then. We had recess, we played football.
Yeah,
Everyone looked like their kids. We weren't on our phones as
yeah,
much. Like I'll go outside right now, play basketball, throw it into the garbage can.
yeah.
Like I did all this stuff, and now like looking now is like holy shit! Like these kids are talking about things that they shouldn't be talking about.
Literally,
I'm like, my sister tells me stories from her grade school, and I'm like, you guys you guys are kids. Like, what the
yeah.
hell are you guys talking about? It's like
It's so
Jesus, but it's
and it's
crazy.
so funny. It's like what you said like about that. It's like it's so funny because like when you were a kid, or like when I was a kid, it was like I thought I was so old. Like I thought I was so grown. I thought I was like so mature. And like I remember like people would tell me it's like, or just even stuff like I thought I knew everything, and then it's like when you get older. I remember people remember like telling me it's like just wait till you get older. Just wait till you get older. You'll say, and then like now that I'm older, like damn, they're right. I was a fucking idiot. Like I knew nothing. But like when you think back, like I remember me vividly at 21 thinking like I am literally a grown ass man. No one can tell me nothing. I know everything. And then like I look back at what I looked like at 21 too. I'm like a little kid. I'm like
Uh,
that guy. Imagine him coming up to me and saying like I'm a grown man. You're not gonna tell me. I'm like this guy. So like now I think like damn, like that's what my dad was looking at. Like this little dork telling
right?
him he's a grown man.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so funny to think like damn, that's so crazy to think like how much.
I'm at that age where I'm calling kids at like I'll be at the gym and I'm like,
Yeah,
yo, kids, and I'm like, wait, I'm not that old, but damn.
yeah. And it's crazy. Is there anything like you would think like not that you have now? And I'm sure most people like they say like no regrets. But is there any like advice that you would give your younger self? You think just to make life a little bit easier, or just
Oh,
to stress out a little bit less?
uh, if I were to talk to my younger self, it's like don't hold too many things in, let it out.
Yeah.
Uh, don't be afraid to talk. If you need help, talk out to a therapist if you need it. Because like you grow up with that like manly thing, like we don't need
Oh
to
yeah.
eyes don't cry.
Yeah.
But Jay, and I'm like after like college or during college, I've talked to therapy. I've been to therapy. I've been very vocal. Like I'm very vocal in my relationship with my parents. Like I'm not afraid to talk out.
Yeah.
Like even to regular people, like I'll
Oh yeah.
tell you how my opinion is, and that's it. I'll be
Yeah.
very straightforward. But back then, I would hold everything in, so that can lead to like some bad things. So
Yeah. What do you think? What was like the realization? Like when you said you went to therapy, like what kind of was like that first initial breaking point where you're like, hey, I need to go out and talk to somebody. Like, where did you think? Like, where did that for you? Like you said, like as young men, like you think it's like what I was saying when I was young. Like I thought I
I
knew
think
everything. And
we all reach a breaking point, and
mm,
to me, it was like let's say like self harm, right?
yeah,
I think once I realized that and I seeked out help, I was like, you know what, like this needs to stop.
yeah,
And then I was like, okay. And then that's when I reached out to therapy and be like, hey, this is what's going on. And then the whole process of just opening up came
Yeah.
about.
So
But that,
how fast of a transition do you think it was from like when you first started therapy? Like how pretty much like how significant was like the process? Like you said a couple months, you're like, wow, I'm a different guy.
I didn't take therapy for that long. It was more
Mm.
like, let's say 5 months.
Yeah,
But I think within that 5 months, it just helped me be that more open,
yeah,
not just with like in general stuff, but just with my own feelings. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like I don't hold my feelings in. Like if I tell you I feel like this, I feel like that. Like
yeah. That's a huge one. Yeah.
I'm even like that with. I'm very open with my coaches. I'm very open with my family.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter what. Like I'll tell you how it is, and that's it.
Do you think
Um,
that like being more open to that, like when you used to shut stuff down, were you aware of the feelings you were having when you were shutting stuff down, or you were just so like
I think it was more
numb to
like
everything?
for instance, I'm trying to find a good example. Like if something went wrong, I'll put the blame on myself.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, "Oh, this is my fault. Like
Mhm.
I caused this. I'm the reason for X, Y, and Z." And then I'll be like, "Oh, you're a failure, or you
Yeah.
suck, or you this." And I'm like, when in reality, you probably don't suck, and it probably wasn't your fault. You're just putting that load and pressure on yourself to be to that extreme.
Yeah.
Because it's like in my head, like, oh yeah, yeah, I want to be successful. So anything that was negative was like, fuck, I fucked up.
Yeah.
It's like one little fuck up doesn't mean you're a failure.
Exactly. It's such a hard trap to fall because, like, obviously, driven guys, and so like you're a driven guy, so it's so hard to fall into that, not to fall into that trap where, like, if something does go wrong, it's so hard to like not be like have negative self talk because it's like you want so much for yourself
Like
that
I
like
was
and
very
you know
open.
like you have the ceiling, so it's like
Yeah, like I was. It happened recently, but I was like I said, I didn't hold it in. I talked to my coach and I told my coach, I'm like, look, uh, obviously we fucked up on the reverse, and a part of me thinks I'm not meant for this sport, but in reality, I know I have what it takes. I can flip the switch. But I had those thoughts. I had the thought, like, you know what, maybe
yeah,
I can do this sport. If I can't reverse back, maybe I'm not meant to do this shit.
yeah,
But and then I realized, like, you know what, I can do it. We all fuck up once in a while, so
yeah.
you gotta win the day and take it forward, keep moving forward, and that's it.
Yeah, that is it's so crazy to think like that's so like such a good mental framework to have like mental framework to like be aware of that because it's like it's so easy to get sucked into the just like that repetitive loop of just being negative and just piling
Mhm.
on yourself. But it's like in reality, it's like is it like you said like mess the reverse up or anything like that? But it's like a lot of that stuff is like if you think about like in 5 months is it going to matter? It's like probably not. And it's like
Yeah.
but it's like it's so easy to think it's so hard to like see that in the moment that you
Hmm.
just think like oh my god like I'm an idiot why'd I do that? And then it's like realistically, it's like it's a problem that's going to solve itself, and I'll be fine in 5 months. And I won't remember that stuff because it's like I try to think back about like from that mental framework. It's like, will this matter in 5 months? Well, I'm sitting like I'll think about that. Like if I'm having a problem, then I think about okay, what was happening 5 months ago in my life? Like because obviously I'm sure that you have bad days. So I'm like 5 months ago, what were my bad days consisting of? Like I have no idea. I don't
Yeah.
remember any of them because it's like it didn't matter. So it's like it's so funny thing. Like so this in 5 months I think it's a big deal now, but I know in 5 months I'm not even going to remember that I had this issue. So it is so funny to think like that. It's so it's at least say like it,
Because if you, I feel like some people get stuck on it, and then
yeah,
they continue and they can truly feel like, hey, like you know what, I suck at this shit, and that will lead you even to worse. Like you know what, I'm not meant for this, and then you start eating more
yeah,
shit.
I'll say that exactly.
Even
That leads
more,
to so many other
and
things like
you gotta be like, yeah, really, you know what, we all fuck up. Like whatever happened, happened. There's no going back. What can we do moving forward? And that's really about it.
exactly. That's a great thing just in life in general to have that mindset of like that outlook of like let's move forward and stuff like that. It's like so like you said, some people don't have that, so it's like it is hard to be self aware and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Let me see if I got a couple good ones for you before you let you go. Uh oh, that's a good one. Do you believe in soulmates?
Like, oh, I met my soulmate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
No,
there's
I mean,
definitely.
we don't have to say like specifically for you and your relationship. I'm just saying like in general.
I
I'm
think
not like
there
putting you
is
on the spot
someone
about your
out there
relationship.
for everybody.
Yeah,
That I do believe. Like, I don't believe like in that love at first sight. Like, oh my god, that one's the girl
yeah,
for me. I feel like a lot of things in a relationship is earned. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Dating a bodybuilder is not the easiest shit in the
No,
world.
no, no.
We have our ups and downs, and my girl has proven to me like I use bodybuilding as a test trial, basically.
Yeah, oh yeah,
So like I feel like if you can stick with me through a prep, you're pretty good.
Trooper.
So
That's a trooper.
my girl's been with me through three preps, maybe
Yeah,
four, and we get better every single one. You learn, you keep
yeah.
improving, and because of that, I do believe like okay, this person is meant for me, and I see
Oh, yeah.
that so me. But like love at first sight, I don't believe it. I do believe there's somebody out there for somebody.
Mm.
That's really about it.
And it's funny to think that it is like how like 'cause I was like being more mature and learning because like when I was young, like I thought like oh love first sight, like you're gonna meet this girl, and everything's gonna be perfect. Then you once you get older, you realize, and you've been in relationships and stuff like that, like how much like you said that
Mhm.
you're good at communicating, like how much big communication is. Because like if you don't know, like stuff can just build up. Like you're doing something that's annoying her, or she's doing something that's annoying you, and then you don't say anything, communicate it, and then 5 months down the road, it keeps happening. And then you just freak out and like get mad about it. And it's like, hey, if you guys would have just told me 5 months ago, I'd have cut that out because it's not a big compromise. If you don't
Yeah.
like that, I do that. No big deal. I can not do that. It doesn't. It's not my be all
Yeah,
end all.
I think it was like the first ever prep I had with my girl. I was on peak week, 1 week out, and she was like, "Let's go to Brooklyn for like this adventure park thing." And I'm like, "I'm 1 week out, and I'm waiting for my diet for tomorrow." She's like,
Yeah,
let's go." And basically to avoid a fight, I said, "Let's go."
yeah,
And her friends kept asking me like, why you look like that? Why you look
yeah,
upset? I'm like, I'm 1 week out. I'm dying.
yeah,
I don't want to be here.
yeah. Exactly.
And then when I talked to my girl about it, I'm like, look, peak week is very important. Like I'm
Yeah,
1 week out from a show. I'm hungry. I don't want to do anything. I just want to be on my sofa, on my bed,
yeah.
relaxing. So now she even says it like her parents will call like, hey, she's like, it's peak week. We
She's
don't
like,
fuck
she's
around.
defending you now to go. Don't answer, do not, bro.
Don't ask me shit. It's peak week.
Yeah,
I'm like, all right.
that's so funny.
It's just I guess you live and learn
Yeah,
from every prep, and that's about
it
it.
is. Yeah, exactly. And it is like we said, the communication. That's a big one too. It's like, and if you didn't like if you don't have them conversations, you don't know what you don't know. So it's like if you don't put, and then you keep people, you can't be mad that like somebody
Mhm.
isn't getting it because you didn't communicate to them. So it's like you kind of have
Because
to
these
be,
people don't live our lifestyle, so it's like
yeah,
you can't expect them to know what peak week is or
exactly. That's the thing.
so
Exactly.
like they don't know that hey you're on zero carbs. What does
Yeah.
that mean? It means I'm fucking hungry.
And it
Like,
is funny too because like people don't understand it. And it's like for us, like we live in this lifestyle, so like we understand. But it's so funny to think like how far less people understand because like with us, like you just know like everything is not common sense, but everything is like so like we know it. It's like once you understand what food is and like how macros work, it just everything's common sense. So like you'll talk to somebody, it's like, oh, like I can't lose weight. It's like, well, are you drinking soda? It's like, yeah. It's like, well, that's like if you look at the back, turn it around, it's like you drink 40s a day. That's 1,000 calories a day. They're like, really? I'm like, you know how much like if you put like 1,000 calories of chicken, rice, beef, potatoes, and eggs in front of you, like that would be a dinner table's worth of food, and you're having 4 sodas for them. But it's so funny, like you just everything's so common, like we're in the
mhm.
life, so we know it because everything is like dictated by food and numbers. So like, everything is so easy for us. But then when you talk to people, it's like you'll talk to like a 60-year-old man, and it's like you don't know that brownies are 500 calories. Like you don't know that. Like it's like for us, it's so common sense. Like it's like you don't know that donuts are more calories than
Mhm.
a cup of strawberries. Like that's something you don't know.
That's right. Because I've had clients where like they train as much as they train every day. They do their
Yeah,
cardio, and they're like, we're still not seeing the results. I'm like, well, how's your diet? To be
yeah,
honest, let's see how that is. Oh, I have meal one, but then the rest of the day I don't eat. I'm like, maybe that's the reason. You're like your metabolism is
yeah,
shot. You
yeah,
don't have to be eating. You have to eat what you got, and that's it. By the
yeah.
same time, you can't be eating shit all day either. And like, it's just crazy to me. Like, oh, I like eating my food fresh. I'm like, well, to be honest, if
So
you
do I, but it's not an option.
it's not an option. I'm like,
Yeah,
you know, how many times I prep for the whole week.
yeah,
Like my
exactly.
last day, the food to me, food is food. It tastes the same. It
Yeah,
goes in. Add some ketchup to that
yeah,
shit.
exactly.
It's getting better. That's it. But I had to sit down with him. I'm like, look, you talk about being wanting to be successful. You talk about wanting this and that. What are you willing to do?
Exactly.
Prep your fucking food. At least cook the protein in bulk, and then you
Yeah,
prep throughout the week, and that's it.
that's the biggest thing. That's a big one for like people like they love. I'll do anything it takes. I want it so bad, but then it's like, but you want willing to eat cold food? It's like, come on. It's like we're
Yeah.
not asking for the world here. It's like
I,
we're not asking you to cut your leg off here.
do I like it? Like I know I can't eat cold vegetables. Like I've
Yeah,
tried it.
I
Uh,
eat cold chicken and rice every day. It's like my food.
cold sweet potato. That
Yeah,
shit was disgusting. But like chicken and rice cold. Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
I'll put that shit down.
Exactly. So I just put a little sauce on. I just add water to get a little moisture because I'm in a truck all day. I drive tractor trailer, so don't even have a microwave to heat stuff up. So I'm in freezing cold in the truck.
You ever thought about getting like like in
The
my car,
little-
I have like the portable microwave thing?
yeah, I've tried one before. My friend had one where it's like, but the thing is, like, my containers are so big as I eat so much food that it's like I don't know like how to like
Yeah.
make like to find the right one to heat it up perfectly and stuff. So it's like and I've been doing I'm been doing it for literally 10 years because my only job is since I was 18 was driving trucks. So I've always just been eating cold food. So it's just so common to me that it's like it's such a process. But I'm just gonna take a pee real quick and then I have like 2 more questions for you.
All right, sounds good.
All right, 1 second. Let's see if it says, "Oh, you stop recording?" Yes. All right, back for the break. So I had 2 questions for you. One, I just wanted to ask you because I remember you said you liked history, so I just wanted a question like, what's like your favorite memory in history, like something like you think like you really like to study there back in history?
Oh, history. I was about to say like my favorite memory in general.
Yeah, or we can do that. We can do your favorite memory. I would love to hear. That's even better. I would love to know your favorite memory, or like your happiest time in life, like something you can look back on like that. I was like genuinely happy.
Yeah, I would say like because my grandfather's passed away when I was really young. Those can actually be some of my role models. Back to that question as well. Like my grandfathers were always like the pillars to each family
Yeah,
for them, and it's funny because they both had the same name, just the first letter was different.
really.
Yeah, so one was Fernando, the other one was Hernando.
Oh
So
my god.
FH, they both had similar styles, and they were both the pillars of the household. So when they both passed away, it really like shook the whole family up. But yeah, like I think some of my best memories were with my grandparents, like both grandfathers, like
Yeah,
hanging out with them. One of them would always teach me mechanic stuff. The other one would be like teach me like stuff from around the house, and it was just like it was those moments where you look back and you're like everything was very peaceful.
yeah.
Everything was running smooth. Families were doing good, and everything was perfect. So to me,
It, it, it is funny like the relationship with grandparents and like children because it's like it is a special kind. Because I mean, my grandfather is like a huge thing for me too. Because I love my like my mom's dad. Like he was a huge like thinking back. Like it's like you don't even realize. Didn't realize in the time like how much of an impact he was
yeah,
having on me. So like I'm an adult now, and like my mom tells me stories. I'm like, oh my god, like that left a huge impact on my life. I didn't know it in the time, but thinking back, it's like wow, like that really left a mark. Like you said, like just spending time with your grandpa. Like when you were spending the time with him, you probably weren't like, wow, this is like a great moment. You probably think, oh, dude, I'm showing my grandpa. Like this is what we did, like hanging out. And then now to think 10, 20 years later, it's like, oh my god, like, they were like important moments in my life. Like that was really deep times with him.
I like it, man. Like I miss them a lot. We talked
Yeah.
about them always, but it's like yeah, those are just like some of the most peaceful times for both families when they were both around.
What were some like the most like the characteristic traits of them like that stuck out the most for you, like the role model aspect of them? Like what were like
Hardworking individuals. They put their family first. They did anything for their family, like for the whole family, not just the immediate family. Like
yeah.
it was like they were the pillar to hold down everybody.
Mhm.
Like anything, any big decision, anything that I needed to get done went through my grandfather's first and stuff like that. Like it got to the point where like one grandfather passed away, and then my grandma ended up moving to Texas because she couldn't afford living here. And then it's like everybody ended up splitting up a little bit. And then same thing with the other one. Once
Yeah.
he passed away, like the family started breaking apart a little bit. So like you can tell the effect that they had
Yeah.
keeping order in the family.
Yeah.
So
So the grandparents, that's a good memory right there. It's so funny to think like one day like you'll be someone like that, you'll have that effect on your grandkids one day. It's like that's a big. I mean, and I don't even know if you noticed it at the time. It's the same thing. Like we didn't notice that back then, but it's like that is crazy to think like you'll have that impact on your kids' kids one day. It's pretty cool to think that's pretty cool. That's down the
that's
line.
the thing. I'm young as shit to think about. Like fuck grandkids.
Yeah, it's so funny to think like it's so funny to think. It's like what you said. Like we're obviously like very driven people and think like, it's like to think like wow, like you're only 29 or whatever it was 30. You said, but it's so funny to think like wow, like that's such a young age. It's like we put such a stress on ourselves. Like we've got to be successful. We have to have accomplish this, accomplish that. But it's like to think like so young. It's crazy to think like you hear stories like the dude who started KFC didn't start KFC till he was 7 years old, or like the dude who owns Walmart didn't even buy his first store until he was 60 or stuff like that. It's like so crazy thing. Like we have this, such a stress on ourselves, like
I even
trying
like
to get
when
stuff
I'm
done.
going
And
back
it's like,
to bodybuilding, I even tell my girl, I'm like, look, some bodybuilders don't hit their prime until like they're 35, 40.
look at Samson. He's like 38. I mean, Andrew Jack is like didn't even compete till he was 36.
Crazy.
Justin Shire, like a lot of these dudes, it's like it's just getting started. It's like you feel so, but it's hard to see that in the real time. Obviously, it's like
Yeah.
no one can really tell you that.
Yeah, especially like nowadays, like I feel like time goes by so quick. So like
Yeah,
for a blink of an eye, it's gonna be boom, grandkids.
exactly. It's so crazy how fast life moves, and it's just blows by. It's so crazy.
Yeah, man.
But that was a good one. And then I have another one. It's like, what do you think? This is a great one. I love. What the hell?
Oof, got bright in there.
I know, right? Jesus. Another one. It's like, what do you think your purpose in life is? Do you ever like? Have you ever sat down and actually thought like, what your purpose in life? Like, what do you think you have? Like, your purpose is?
Never really sat down and think about it. If I were to say something, it's I I feel like people have like I make people feel like they can come and open up to me.
Mhm.
So a lot of people, like a lot of my close friends, like they'll tell me like what they're going through. They ask for advice, and I'm here to like I'm always the guy to try to put a smile on everybody's face and
Yeah.
make everyone happy type thing. And I try to look at the positive side of everything.
Yeah,
So
that's a good one. Do you have anyone in your life that you have that you could talk to people like that? Like you're that person for a lot of people. Do you have like someone in your life that they are that for you?
yeah, like some of my like obviously my girl I can talk to, but
Yeah.
when it comes to like certain things, also like I have one of my boys I can call him right now and be like, "Yo, like, here's what I'm going through,"
Yeah.
and that's
Is
real.
that like a child? Like, is that like a childhood friend or somebody like a more?
What's crazy is like I really all my friends I made in college,
Oh,
all my
really?
close friends. Yeah, because like obviously like I was
Maybe
here
you
for
are.
grade school and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
But once I left to DR, I lost communication with them, and then all the friends I made in DR kind of put them aside when I came
Yeah.
back home.
Got
So
it.
then I started fresh year with college. So everybody I met on freshman year, I've been friends with ever since.
That's pretty cool. That's cool. You keep the people around. That's like a good trait. They're like if somebody doesn't have any lifelong friends, it's a bad trait.
Yeah.
But that's good. It's just like that's another question I love because it's like it's funny to think like you don't really think about this kind of stuff, but it's like, do you have somebody in your phone like if you called them at 3 o'clock in the morning, like besides your family and your girl, because
Oh
obviously
yeah.
maybe don't do anything. Like, do you have any friends or anyone that comes to your head like, or if you do have friends like that would come to your
No,
head,
yeah.
like if you called them at 3 in the morning, they answer and like yo, I'm stranded in New York. My car broke down. Can you come get me on a
We have
Tuesday?
a group chat, and it's literally just like the main core friend group, and it's like 6 of us, and we all like one day someone decided like let's pull a prank
Yeah,
on everybody, and it's like, hey, I don't see this guy's location. Do you know where he's at? He said he's with you. Oh, everybody said, yeah, he's with
yeah,
me. He's with me. He's with me. And it's just funny, like we're able to stick up for each other,
yeah.
and we're there for each other no matter what. So
Is there any, do you guys like get together and hang out in person a lot or no?
so like every year we try to hang out like Super Bowl parties. We
Yeah.
do. We hang out throughout the year. Obviously, like
Well,
but every year we all go on a cruise together.
that is so cool, man.
Like typically it always falls like they know I compete, so
Yeah,
like they say they try to figure out when's your last show, and then right like 2 weeks after the show we go on a cruise.
that is so cool. That is so cool. It's like it's so important to have that kind of stuff. It's like you don't even realize that kind of stuff until like you're something like me. Like I don't like I have close friends, but like, I don't have that. Like just something as simple as like going out to dinner with your friends. It's like
Mhm.
you don't realize like how important that stuff is. Just like your mental health, like your
Like
well
we
being.
try to like do more throughout the year, like hey, but like every sometimes it's like not everybody together. It'll be like hey, 3 of us from the group
Yeah,
will get coffee, or 2 of us will go link up. But we know for sure once a year, twice a year, well probably more because we like to do like the ugly sweater parties.
mm,
We like to do Friendsgiving. We like to do Super Bowl events. In the summer, we try to get together a couple times, and then we have our big cruise or trip. So like we've done on 4 or 5 cruises already, so 5 years in a
so
row.
cool, man.
This year we're not doing a cruise because somebody from the group is getting married, so we're all going to Puerto Rico for his wedding.
Oh wow, that's
So,
he's getting married in Puerto Rico.
huh?
He's getting married in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, he's Puerto Rican and
Okay.
his fiance's Puerto Rican. so majority of the family's already over there.
Okay.
So it's like, all right, so we're all gonna be traveling to Puerto Rico in a couple weeks.
Oh,
Well,
it's coming up soon.
yeah, it's in April.
Okay.
So
That's
in
pretty
two
cool.
weeks I go to Nashville for his bachelor party.
What'd you say?
In 2 weeks I go to Nashville for his bachelor
Oh,
party.
wow. That's what. Have you ever been there?
No, I've never been there.
I've never been there either, but I heard it's really cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I heard
How many people are going to the bachelor party? Is it like a whole, just a group chat or a lot more?
it's like like all the guys from the group chat and probably like four more guys.
Wow, that's pretty. Are you guys like getting an Airbnb or is it a hotel type of deal or?
Yeah, we got an Airbnb for everybody, like a big
Yeah.
house and everything. And that's about it. Go out there. I've
So
never
cool.
been. I know there's a cool gym I got to check out there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it always is. Whenever you're traveling, it's like, oh, you got to go on Instagram, see what pro bodybuilders live in Nashville, where do they train, what they're open. It is pretty funny.
It's
Like that's how, like,
carbon something,
oh yeah, Carbon Culture, yeah.
and that's out
Yeah,
there.
that's Brandon Curry owns that gym, yeah.
All right, I'll go check that one out.
Exactly. My friend's moving to Georgia, and he's like, I'm like, don't worry, I'm already on Google Maps. I'm trying to find out where the gyms are at. I'm searching what bodybuilders live in Georgia. I got to figure out where they train. It's so funny that that's where it's at. What do you think the best gym you've ever did? Oh, this will be the last question. What's it since it is gym related? Like, what do you think like the best gym you've ever trained at is?
You know, I had a list of all the gyms rated.
No way!
Yeah,
right on the Excel sheet.
I did a whole YouTube series.
I love
leading
that.
up to Atlantic States.
Yeah.
And every episode we did a different gym.
No way. All in New Jersey and stuff?
Yeah, all in Jersey. So I was basically trying to rate these gyms, and I don't even know where that list is at right now.
I would love to hear a couple of them. I would love to hear. Or is there any? And another question: while you're looking for that,
the order would be like Gym Outlaws is the gym up here in London that I go to. That's like number one. Apollon Gym is really dope in Edison.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yep.
Power Build in King of Persia.
I love it. Yeah, King of Persia. Yeah.
Iron Revolution is one of the best gyms here in Jersey.
My home base.
Signature Fitness. Even though people think it's like a little bit different, but they have everything you need in there.
Yeah, it's huge, right? My friend went up there for like a posing practice, and he said it was insane.
You heard of Strong and Shapely?
Yeah, yep. That's farther north, right?
Kingdom Gym I like. I just don't like that all their pieces are prime pieces.
Yeah, it's my friend literally just went there like last week. I know that it's like really nice. They got their white equipment and stuff.
PSA was good.
Yeah.
Paramount Fitness was a good one from that series, and then like Jersey Barbell. And that's
you were doing some traveling, man.
Yeah, I just didn't go as south as I could have gone. I've been to Atila's before.
Yeah. That's down there. That's what's in Delaware.
What?
That's what's in Delaware. That's way down South Jersey.
Yeah, that's
super far.
I think the other gym that I went that wasn't in Jersey was Powerhouse of the Montari brothers.
Okay, yeah. That's in Connecticut, right?
Yeah, that one was nice.
That's right. I've sent the parties to share that.
And I think that's really about it. Because in Florida, obviously, I've been to Kissimmee.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
And then I think that's the only gym I went to out there. In Texas, I went to the Gas Gym.
That's actually Dallas.
It was okay. I like it. I like all that. It looks different online.
Yeah. You see, like when you see the gyms like in that cinematic like Instagram videos, like damn, it just looks sick. Then you get there, it's like this just looks like a regular gym. It's not like all like because like the edits are always so cool.
Yeah, the other gym, the only gym that I didn't like out there was that new one called what's it called? It's the one Martin Fitzgerald went to and promoted a lot.
Oh, what Absolute Recon?
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't like that with the new one?
I hated it.
Really? I know that's like the big one.
So like the way I see it is like they have like 2 locations in Dallas.
Yeah.
And I went to like the newest one, right?
Like the brand new one that they just had the opening at.
And I was like, okay, so we ended up going there, and it was just a bunch of teenagers, people shirtless, doing all this crazy shit. So I gave it a rating, and I was like, if you take the people away, the gym is amazing. Yeah. Prime, all different types of pieces, prime pieces, a lot of cool shit, really dope. I don't like that the gym blacks out and turns red. I'm like, why do you have to do this?
Yeah.
But then when you add the people, it kind of makes it worse because there was like a football game going on. And people were sitting like on the preacher curl machine, on the pad just watching the
Oh
game. I'm
my
like,
god,
fucking move.
dude, come.
I'm like, Jesus, it was just more of an influencer gym,
Yeah.
so I didn't really like it. But then, like after the show, I went to another Absolute Recomp, the original one,
Mm.
and that one was pretty dope
I
because
think
it
the one
was
that they used to see like Hani used to train out with like Chris and like
yeah,
Hani
that
and
one
Hani.
was like I went early as well. I went like at 5 o'clock in the morning. But you see like the old heads just training hard, and it was just
Yeah.
more serious. It wasn't as fancy, and I was like, okay, this is dope.
Yeah.
So,
is there any gyms on like a bucket list that you would like you see on Instagram that you're like I would love to train there or anything, or there's like
yeah,
like
I have a
everyone like
couple. I just don't know them by the top of my head. I have
yeah
them on a list that I want to go
yeah
to. Like obviously, there's a bunch of gyms that are like if I see like DMB.
oh yeah that's a good one. Yeah, I've never been there, but I see a lot of people
Yeah,
talk
I
about
haven't
that
been
place.
there, and I heard good things about it, so I want to definitely try that
Yeah
gym out. Make a road trip out of it, drive up
yeah
to wherever that is. I think it's Virginia,
yeah I think yeah.
and train up there. But yeah, that's about it. You?
That's I don't really have any because I've been to like the Gasp gym, I've been to Revive in Florida and stuff like that. I've been to a lot of gyms in Jersey, but I mean I train at Iron Tug. I just literally I'm like the biggest spokesman for Iron. I love it there so much.
No,
So
yeah,
you have so much equipment. It's like for me, it's a ride too. Like it takes me 40 minutes to get there because I go late at night. I usually don't get there until 9 because I work late. Like with traffic, if I go during the day, it's like an hour. But it's like I gladly make the commute because I just love going there so much. The community,
yeah.
I love Ray and Dan, the owner, and stuff like that. So I love training there.
No, yeah. Like when people tell me like, what other gyms would you visit? I'm like,
Yeah.
Iron. If it was closer, that'll be my
Yeah,
gym.
exactly.
It's just mad dope.
Yeah, I think they're always getting new equipment. Like this dude's are literally. He just yesterday I was in there because he already has a Cybex Smith machine and an Atlantis one, but he literally he's getting an old school Cybex one, like the super heavy duty ones where they like bolt in the ground. It's all like super, like everything's like square. Because like the newer ones are like all rounded pipes. The old
like
ones are
Epic,
square.
right? It's like
What?
an Epic one.
Yeah,
Like straight down, straight up.
yeah, straight up and down. Yeah, no, and then there's no pulleys or anything on it. So he's getting a brand new one of that. I'm like, this dude, like he literally just got like a Nautilus chest press and a Nautilus pull down. Now he's getting down. Like, this dude does not slow down, man. That's why it's like I love going there because it's like the dude takes the initiative and it's like they're there like because I train late. They're there like 1 o'clock in the morning, like on ladders, dusting the roof.
But the owner Ryan, right?
Dan and Ray.
Okay.
Ray, yeah, Ray.
And like they know what bodybuilders want.
Exactly.
Well.
Yeah, that's what they said.
They
exactly.
try to like accommodate everybody in a good way, and they get some of the top pieces out there.
Yeah,
I really like.
I mean, like you said, like some pieces, like I would literally drive to the gym just for a prime leg extension. Like it's like that's such an amazing piece for legs. It's like like if a gym has it, I'm going there because like, that piece makes a difference to me. Like the Arsenal one is horrible. It's like I would
like my girl asked me like, why do you go to 2 gyms? Because I go to Signature and Outlaw. Yeah. She's like, well, I gotta train back at Signature because they have all the pieces I want. And I have to do legs at Outlaws, and I gotta do chest here, and I gotta do shoulders over there because they have that piece. And it's just like she's like, okay,
definitely with us because we got the logbook. So it ain't like I can't just be going to different gyms every day because it's like I got the prime leg extension at 230.
But I usually use the same machine on the same levels and everything, and I like to keep it the same.
Exactly. So that's why it's like, let's stay with you know.
Yeah.
But all right, brother, I'm gonna let you get going. That was a great talk. I just wanted to wrap it up with you. So I'm thankful for you coming on and sharing all the information.
And we definitely gotta get a training session one day.
Yeah, exactly. Us Jersey guys. So if you ever got time, I actually was gonna go to Gym Outlaws before. I might take a trip up there because it's not that far. I mean, everything's far from me. So everything's a hike, but take a trip.
Yeah, if you come up for New York Pro, let me know because we can always hit that.
Oh yeah, what's that? It's a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, I think it's like a couple months from now.
Okay, yeah, everyone's in prep for that anyway.
Yeah, I think it's in. Yeah, I don't even have it on, but I know everyone comes up for New York Pro.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
Especially, I think Colossal Ken. I don't know if you know
him.
Yeah.
He's competing there.
I think he's doing New York Pro.
Oh, is he? Okay. Yeah, I didn't know he was doing that. I seen him. He looks crazy on Instagram. That dude's a wild man. Huge. But all right, buddy. Well, let's get going, man. Thanks for the time.
All right. Later.
Thanks, brother.